It's April 18, 2021. I'm Todd Dunn. Today I'm in Acadia National Park. I happen to be in the Seawall Campground because that's where I usually go for my afternoon walk. But today what I'd like to do is talk about the 2021 season and what I've been able to find out about it by going through the Acadia National Park website and some of the things that are going to be a little different this year from a normal year. Since I'm in a campground, let me start with camping. Last year, none of the 4 campgrounds in the national park opened. This year, they're all going to be open, but the website says they will be running at reduced capacity. They don't say what that means. I presume that what it means is that on any given day, not every campsite will be available, and that'll cut down on the number of people in the restrooms and give greater distance between campers, which in a lot of ways will make camping in the national park more pleasant. So, what is going on with the campgrounds? As I said, Acadia National Park has 4 campgrounds. They are Blackwoods Campground, which is south of Bar Harbor, right next to the village of Otter Creek, and it's scheduled to open on May 7th. That's the first campground that'll be opening this year. Then on May 26th, this campground, the Seawall Campground over here on the western side of the island, will open, or at least it's scheduled to open, and the Schoodic Woods Campground on the Schoodic Peninsula is also scheduled to open. And then finally on June 4th, the Duck Harbor Campground on Isle of Howe will open for this season. Now, there will be one significant difference from previous years with the campgrounds, in addition to them operating at reduced capacity, whatever that means, and that is that there will be no drive-up sites available. You'll have to make a reservation online if you want to camp in one of the campgrounds. The biggest difference this year with the campgrounds is there are not going to be any sites available just for drive-up. In other words, you will not be able to simply arrive at the campground and take an available site. All campsites are going to require advance reservations, and you have to make those at recreation.gov. And probably print out your reservation information so that you can present it when you show up at the campground. When can you make them? Well, the park is going to run on a 60-day rolling reservation period. That means, for example, if you want a reservation for the period beginning on August 7th, you can't reserve it before June 7th. Now, if the campgrounds are operating at reduced capacity, you have to bear in mind that for the high season, July, August, and the beginning of September, the campgrounds are always full. And if they're at reduced capacity, it's going to be even more difficult to get a site. So you basically are going to want to go to recreation.gov 60 days before your arrival date and make your reservation. Now, I'm not sure if you can reserve, say, a whole week beginning on August 7 on June 7. You may have to wait until the end of that week. Or you may have to reserve your site on a day-by-day basis. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. So you might want to take a look at recreation.gov in advance of when you need to make your reservation to make sure you know exactly how it's going to function. And the other thing is, to make a reservation on recreation.gov, you have to register with the website in order to use it. So I looked at it this morning and discovered that I could not get into the full procedure without registering with the website, which, since I'm not going to be staying here, since I live on the island, I decided I didn't need to do. Okay, what about rates at the campgrounds? Well, they're unchanged. Basically, there are just a few rates. Duck Harbor Campground has only walk-in campsites. One change there is that there are 5 campsites there, but only 2 of them will be in use this year, which means that it's going to be even harder to get a site there. Duck Harbor is on Isle of Howe, and the only way you can get there is by boat, so they are sort of by definition walk-in campsites. And they cost $20 a night. Now the other 3 campgrounds, Seawall, Blackwoods, and Schoodic Woods, have several rates each. Here at Seawall, there are 2 types of sites. There are walk-in tent-only sites, and they're $22 a night. And there are drive-in sites that you can tent at, or in some cases have a small RV. And then there are RV-only sites. They have no services, and they're $30 a night. Blackwoods Campground has walk-in tent sites, just a few, for $22 a night. No services sites for tent camping only, or for a small RV, and RV sites with no services for $30 a night. Schoodic Woods has 4 different rates. They have walk-in tent-only sites for $22. They have drive-in sites where you can put a tent, or in some cases a small RV, usually 20 feet or less, for $30 a night, and those don't have any services. They have drive-in tent or small RV sites with electricity for $36 a night. And then there are RV sites with electricity and water connections for $40 a night. And that pretty much covers the rates. And as I said, those are unchanged from previous years. So that covers camping here in the national park in 2021. Okay, there are a few other things. The entrance fee for the park remains at $30 if you arrive by car. That covers everybody in a car. $25 if you arrive by motorcycle, and that covers everybody on the motorcycle. And $15 per person if you walk or bike into the park. And those are 7-day entrance passes. Now this year, the website is encouraging people to go to recreation.gov and buy their park entrance passes online. Entrance passes are required starting on May 1st. In other words, if you are not displaying an entrance pass after May 1st, the rangers can and probably will ticket you. Where else can you get an entrance pass if you don't get one online? Well, there are 2 places. You can go to the Hulls Cove Visitor Center and buy one there, and it opens on May 7th. And the other place is the Sand Beach Entrance Station, which opens on May 1st. And that's consistent with entrance passes being required on May 1st. So from now until May 1st, you don't have to have an entrance pass to come into the park, which is why I'm here now. Of course, I have a lifetime pass, so it doesn't make any difference to me. What about roads? Well, on April 15th, all of the park roads officially opened for the season. That included the Cadillac Mountain Road, the full Park Loop Road, etc. There are a few gravel roads that aren't open yet, and these include some of the roads going into the west side of Long Pond here on the western side of the island. I'm not sure when they're scheduled to open. I couldn't find that information on the park website. However, as I said, the Park Loop Road, Jordan Pond Road, and Cadillac Mountain Road opened on the 15th of April. But on the 16th of April, due to weather, we had a nasty storm with some snow at higher elevations. The Cadillac Mountain Road closed again. So, as of today, the website still shows the Cadillac Mountain Road as closed. So I have been planning to go up there in April, and it looks like I'm going to have to wait a little while till they finally decide to open the road back up, which I think they'll do as soon as they're confident that all the snow and any ice is gone from the road. There's one other aspect of the Cadillac Mountain Road that is going to be a consideration this year, and that is that beginning on May 23rd and running until October 9th, you will need a reservation to go up Cadillac Mountain. And you'll have to go to recreation.gov again and make your reservation online. Now the reservations are scheduled 30 minutes apart, and you can't use them except within 30 minutes of their time. They expire, and you can only get one reservation a week. In addition, the reservations have an additional fee. The base fee is $4 to go up to the top of Cadillac Mountain. But there's also a $2 charge to make the reservation. So in essence, it costs $6 to take your car up to the top of Cadillac Mountain. And you won't be able to take the Island Explorer bus up there this year, even though the buses will be running, because they're not going to run a route that includes the summit of Cadillac Mountain. So the only way to get up there this year, unless there are some private commercial services running bus tours up there, will be to drive up, and you will have to get a reservation after May 23rd. Hopefully, I will be able to fit in a trip up to the top of Cadillac Mountain before May 23rd, because there's no way I'm paying for a reservation to go up there. Okay, so that pretty much covers what the season looks like, with one exception. Right now, the National Park Service does have a mask mandate. You're supposed to wear a mask when you are in any park facility, any building, or on any trail where you can't maintain social distancing. And I don't know how long that's going to last. Might end by the beginning of the season in June, but it might continue. But that's the way it is right now. Now, I have my mask. I'm not wearing it because I'm sitting in the Seawall Campground, and I don't hear any people, and I'm pretty sure there's nobody within at least 100 yards of me. But I will wear the mask if I see anybody or hear anybody. So, now what about some of the other facilities? Picnic areas, carriage roads. Right now, there are some picnic areas that are open. The Fabry picnic area on the Park Loop Road is open. A small part of the Seawall picnic area is open. I was just over there a few minutes ago, and the main part is still closed. And in a lot of places, the restrooms associated with places like picnic areas and trailheads are still closed. And that brings me to carriage roads. Right now, with one exception, which is the Witch Hole Pond Loop carriage road over by the Hulls Cove Visitor Center, all of the carriage roads are closed. Now that's a normal thing. They're always closed this time of year until all of the snow and ice have melted out and the roads have firmed up so they won't be damaged too much by people going on them. And hopefully that will be ending in a week or two. And the other thing about the carriage roads is the Eagle Lake Carriage Road that goes around Eagle Lake. That looks like it's going to be closed for most of the season. Now that's the closest carriage road to Bar Harbor, and by far one of the most popular access points for the carriage roads. But you won't be able to go in there this year. And they do say on the website that later in the season they will be opening up parts of the carriage road as they finish the work they have planned on it. So if you come in June, figure you're not going to be able to walk the Eagle Lake Carriage Road. One other thing that's significant this year is the Island Explorer free bus. It didn't operate last year, but it is going to operate this year. However, according to their website, they're going to operate at reduced capacity. In other words, they're not going to let as many people on the bus, and they're not going to operate as many routes. In fact, they're only going to operate 5 routes, all in the eastern part of the park. They're going to be operating the Schoodic Peninsula Loop. They're going to be operating 4 routes over on the eastern part of the park on MDI. 2 of them start at the Hulls Cove Visitor Center. They're the Park Loop Road route, which goes down past Sand Beach and Thunder Hole and Otter Cliffs and over to Jordan Pond, and then back up to the Hulls Cove Visitor Station, and the Jordan Pond route, which goes from the Hulls Cove Visitor Station down to Jordan Pond. And the other 2 routes start in Bar Harbor at the Village Green. One is the Sand Point route, which goes from the Village Green down to Sand Point, around past Thunder Hole to Otter Cliffs, and then back to Bar Harbor. And the final route is just a connector route that goes from the Village Green over to the Hulls Cove Visitor Center. What is not going to be operating is any of the routes that come over to the western part of the island. And the reason for that is simple. Since they're going to be running the buses at reduced capacity, what they're planning to do is, say, at the 3:30 departure from the Village Green to go to Sand Beach, instead of having 1 bus, have 2 buses. And if they do that, they won't have enough buses or staff to run all the routes. So if you stay, for example, over here at the Seawall Campground, in previous years, you could have just caught the bus here and gone anywhere in the park. This year, you won't be able to do that because the bus will not be coming over here. So you'll be dependent on driving. Okay, that pretty much summarizes what I wanted to say about the 2021 season here in Acadia National Park. Now, this is all as of today, April 18, 2021. And a lot of this stuff could change. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. And I recommend that anybody who wants to know what's going on, you can do one of 2 things. You can check the Acadia National Park official website, or periodically you can take a look at my YouTube site, because I will be doing updates through the course of the summer. Okay, hope you found this interesting and useful information. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, why don't you click that button right now so that you can be an official subscriber. It's a very elite club. There are only about 1,600 subscribers. You can be one of them. And if you do subscribe, click that notification bell so you'll get an indication of when my next exciting video will be posted. Thanks for watching.